Good morning. I'm so glad you're here joining us today to create this crazy bird. So I've got three main colors that I'm using, and if you've got the color wheel, my main color is orange, and on that I've got a split complementary of purple and green that go with it, which I'm going to do the orange beak, maybe the purple bird, green background. Let's go for that. Okay. I just knew to choose three colours. Wasn't quite sure which, if the bird was going to be green or purple, but there we go. So I'm just doing the green glittery background, sort of doing the same sort of technique with my glitter pens. I'm going to do a couple of rocks this week so you can see how they turn out. And I talk a lot about the colour wheel. If you want to learn more about it, we've got our rock painting course, which will be in the links in below the supplies in this video. And in that, we have a free ebook, as well as we've got lessons on how to use the colour wheel, how to choose the colours for your rock as well. So you'll understand more how I was choosing these three colours to come up with to create this crazy bird. And Crazy Bird is dedicated to my daughter's crazy pet bird, which is pure white, Hedwig, and doesn't look anything like this bird. But anyway, the personality was there. I got the idea because the bird just had this crazy fly down the hallway because no one was paying her any attention. She was by herself in the lounge room where she bases herself, and nobody was there. My daughter homeschools, so she was in a room. I'm down in the art studio. My husband had gone out to his hospital appointment, and the bird was not having a bar of it. So we could hear her carrying on in the lounge room, and next minute she flew down and she sort of stomped away down the hallway looking for anyone, mainly the cat she's looking for, because the cat keeps her company in the lounge room. So yeah, and then I just went, oh, that's it. That's the next rock we're doing Crazy Bird. And because only a crazy bird wants to be best friends with a cat, right? So we'll do this one purple. And something I'm doing, all these three colours that I'm using are the glitter pens from Posca. And just wipe that tip, clean the tip a little bit. Wasn't quite flowing out as nicely as it should. Just going to clean it in a little bit of water, sort of dipping it in and just rubbing it across the rock to clean it. So I showed you how I do it. That's just a basic tip clean. If it's just something just on the tip that's only just started, that will easily get you out of a fix. So yeah, the purple, orange and green are the glitter pens. And I wanted to show you the colours that they were without any other colour underneath. A lot of people like to base colour first and then put this glitter one on top, but I just wanted to show you the pureness of the colour without any base. So I'm just going to give them a scribble and a colour in, and just fill those colours in so you can just have an idea. It's nice to try the different colours so that and the different types of pens so that you can see the outcome. Just have a cup of tea. Okay, so the outline of the eyes, I'm just sort of working it out. Instead of doing the outline last, I do the outline first, okay, because then I can doesn't matter if it gets bumpy because of the rock, doesn't matter if it's too thick because that's quite a thick line. But I'm just going to do those outlines first. I'm going to let them dry. And then I'll come back in and backfill it and show you. So I've got to figure out I'm going to do with that mouth area. We'll take a solid orange colour, a little bit darker than the glitter pen. Obviously inside the mouth is a bit darker. And we'll go around the edges. You know, like when I point to things, I'm just taking a photo for the Facebook crew. But you know when I paint, I'm pointing to things and I realised I'm not pointing it for you. Hang on, just going to zoom in. Yeah, I'm not pointing it to show it to you. I've got this, I do it when I'm painting rocks. Do you do it? I'm just kind of wave my finger around it, like maybe some sort of magic I think's going to happen. I can't figure out what to do. Just sort of get my finger, go, oh, I could go around there, what am I going to do? Or I tap my finger on the bench. I don't know why. Yeah, but it's just this little weird tapping and pointing that I do. But anyway, it works. Some idea comes from it. Oh, just give a bit of a spin. So I'm just taking the darker green around the edges because it'll always be that little bit deeper just on the edge of the image where there's more shadow thrown. So that glitter's not quite dark enough. See, I'm just going to the inner edge with the darker colour. You could also try the khaki. It works really well with the glitter colour as well. So a bit more glitter, smush it out, get the edges smushed. It's definitely looking like a crazy bird. So here I'm going to fill in the eyes, and I'm just coming in, see how I'm going over the black? And I'm just thinning it out as I come in. So you can see I'm coming up here and I'm thinning that, going backwards. The thing is, when you've got that good quality acrylic paint pens, they're very opaque and you can do this. And then it looks like you have like a nice thin black line around the outside. But all I've done is backfilled it in, like you can see. Oh, a little bit. So don't do too much at once. It was getting a little bit sparse there because it was starting to pick up the previous paint because I was just putting too much down at the same time. So you still just want to do one thin layer and go over it. And if it's not, it'll be even. You know, the first coat's never quite even. You just come back and do another thin coat. Okay, that was one layer. Sort of just come back in and do that second thin layer that I was talking about, and that's just filled in that area we had a bit of problem with. Okay, that's it. Oh, it's a slippery rock, this one. And I'm just coming in from the purple side to thin that black line as well because it went a little bit further over the edge than I wanted it. And now just take your black pen and do the outside. Being a crazy bird, get a little bit chaotic with your edges. So I'll come and do some thick and thins on his mouth, but I'll just start doing some scribbly bits as well. So it's not one solid line, but lots of little scribbles and scrawls. And it just makes that bird get an even crazier look about him. Sort of, you know, his feathers are all chaotic and sort of all flared up. Just adds to the character. But you can see I'm just going, how I'm going back and forth. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Little dots and dashes, doing back and forth several lines, and that creates an overall look. You know, the crazy look. You might want to grab the pupils and make one big and one small, or in different positions, so they're throwing another sort of craziness into the look. The beak would be more smooth, obviously, the texture of the beak being different to the feathers, so you might not put that chaos into his beak, but just run that smooth line to create the bird beak. Sort of add in some little nostrils. Then that's just kind of those outlines have just added to his personality then. Give that overall crazy look. You can decide if you want some highlights on him as well, then you can just add the highlights in the eyes, both on the same side. So I've done it both to the left of each pupil. A few little highlights to brighten him up, and he's done. Can't get much crazier than that. So this is the personality of our bird, not necessarily the look or the colour. But yeah, that's it. Quite happy with him. So do some crazy birds, show us your colours, join us over at Reef Rocks today in our Facebook group and show us the crazy bird you created.